The red warning light flashed across the bridge of the human ship. New Sol. Commander Li Wujin looked up from his coffee and frowned. Red lights meant emergency messages from Earth. Emergency messages were never good news. "Sir, we have an urgent transmission from High Command," said Lieutenant Park, her voice tight with worry. "Put it on the main screen," Li Wujin ordered. The screen flickered to life. Admiral Chun's face appeared, but he looked older than usual. His eyes were tired and deep lines marked his forehead. Li Wujin had known the Admiral for 15 years. He had never seen him look this worried. "Commander Li, this message is classified top secret. What I'm about to tell you will change everything for humanity," Admiral Chen said slowly. 3 hours ago, we received a message from something called the Galactic Council. They claim to speak for 12 alien species that rule this part of the galaxy. Li Wujin felt his stomach drop. First contact with aliens was supposed to be humanity's greatest moment. But Admiral Chen's face told him this was not a celebration. The message was simple. Admiral Chen continued. Humanity has 30 days to pull back all ships, all colonies, and all people to the Sol system. We must stay within our own solar system forever. If we refuse, they will destroy every human in the galaxy. The bridge fell silent. Li Wujin could hear his own heartbeat. Around him, his crew stared at the screen in shock. "Show me the message," Li Wujin said quietly. Admiral Chen nodded. "Computer, play alien transmission." The screen changed. A new face appeared, if it could be called a face. The creature had 4 eyes arranged in a diamond pattern. Its skin was dark purple and covered in small scales. When it spoke, its voice was cold and emotionless. "Humans of the species designation, Homo sapiens, you have been observed and judged by the Galactic Council. Your species shows dangerous signs of rapid expansion, technological growth, and aggressive behavior patterns. These traits have been marked as threats to galactic stability." Li Wujin clenched his fists. The alien continued speaking. "The Council has maintained peace in this galaxy for 3,000 years. We do this by controlling which species may travel between stars. Humans have expanded too quickly. You reproduce too fast. You adapt to iceberg. You create new technologies at an alarming rate. These behaviors cannot be allowed to continue." The aliens' eyes seemed to stare directly through the screen. "At Li Wujin, you have 30 standard days to withdraw all human presence beyond your birth system. All colonies must be abandoned. All ships must return to Sol. All humans living on non-Earth worlds must return to Earth. After 30 days, any human found outside the Sol system will be terminated. Any human ship detected beyond your system's edge will be destroyed. This is not a negotiation. This is a final warning." The message ended. The screen went black dot. Li Wujin stood in silence for a long moment. His crew looked at him, waiting for orders. He could see fear in their eyes, but also anger. Humans didn't like being told what to do, especially by creatures they had never met. "Dr. Park So-young, report to the bridge immediately," Li Wujin said into his communicator. Dr. Park So-young arrived 5 minutes later. She was humanity's best expert on alien life, even though she had never seen a real alien before today. She was young, maybe 30 years old, with sharp eyes and a quick mind. She had spent her whole career preparing for first contact with aliens. But not like this. "Doctor, what do you make of this?" Li Wujin asked as Dr. Park So-young studied the frozen image of the alien on the screen. "The message mentions 12 species in this galactic council. That suggests a large organized government. They claim to have controlled the galaxy for 3,000 years. She paused, thinking carefully. "Commander, if they're telling the truth, we're facing something far beyond our current abilities. A civilization that has ruled the galaxy for 3 millennia would have technology we can't even imagine." But Li Wujin could hear doubt in her voice. "But there's something strange about this message," Dr. Park So-young said slowly. "They're afraid of us. Afraid. They're threatening to wipe us out." "Exactly. Think about it, Commander. If they're so powerful, why give us a warning at all? Why not just destroy us immediately? They called us dangerous and alarming species that have controlled the galaxy for thousands of years. Don't usually worry about newcomers unless those newcomers represent a real threat. Li Wujin nodded slowly. You think they see us as competition? I think they see us as something they've never encountered before. Something that scares them enough to break their usual patterns. At that moment, Captain Kim Taeho's voice crackled over the communication system. Kim commanded the escort ships that traveled with the new Sol. He was young for a captain. Only 28, but he was the best pilot in the human fleet. Commander Lee, we have a problem. Captain Kim's voice was tense. Long-range sensors are picking up massive ship movements near the Kepler colonies. Unknown vessels, much larger than anything we've ever built. They're not responding to our communications. Li Wujin felt ice in his veins. How many ships? At least 50, sir. Maybe more. They're maintaining position just outside the Kepler system, but they're definitely watching our colonies. Are our people in immediate danger? Not yet, sir. But these ships could destroy our colonies in minutes if they wanted to. Li Wujin turned to his communications officer. Get me intelligence officer Yoon-Hae Ri. I need her analysis of this situation immediately. Yoon-Hae Ri was humanity's top intelligence analyst. She specialized in reading between the lines, finding the truth that others missed. Her report came through 10 minutes later. Commander, I've been analyzing the alien message and comparing it to our intelligence on recent space activity. Over the past 6 months, we've detected unusual energy signatures in 12 different sectors. We thought they were natural phenomena. But now, I believe they were alien ships gathering for this moment. Her voice grew more serious. Sir, this isn't a spontaneous decision. They've been planning this for months, maybe years. They've been watching us, studying us, preparing for this ultimatum. Any good news in your report? Li Wujin asked. Maybe one thing, sir. If they've been planning this for so long, it means they really are afraid of us. Species that have ruled the galaxy for 3,000 years don't usually put this much effort into dealing with a threat unless that threat is very real. Li Wujin walked to the bridge's main window. Outside, stars stretched endlessly in all directions. Somewhere among those stars, 12 alien species had decided that humanity was too dangerous to live freely. They had given humans 30 days to become prisoners in their own solar system. But humans had never been good at accepting cages. Open a channel to Earth, Li Wujin ordered. I need to speak with the President and the High Council immediately. As his communication officer worked to establish the connection, Li Wujin made a decision that would change the course of human history. He was not going to recommend surrender. Humanity would face this threat head-on, no matter the odds. The stars outside seemed to shine a little brighter, as if they too were waiting to see what humanity would choose. The emergency meeting on Earth lasted 18 hours. Every nation's leader sat around the massive table in the United Government Building. President Martinez looked tired, but her eyes burned with determination. She had called this meeting to decide humanity's fate. The question is simple, President Martinez said to the room. Do we surrender our freedom to save our lives, or do we fight for our right to exist among the stars? The debate was fierce. Some leaders argued that humanity should accept the aliens' demands. We have families to think about, said Prime Minister Johnson from Europa Colony. If we fight, they will kill everyone. At least if we surrender, humans will survive on Earth. But others disagreed strongly. What kind of survival is that? Demanded Chancellor Liu from Mars Colony. Living like prisoners in our own solar system, never seeing new worlds, never growing as a species. That's not living, that's just existing. Dr. Park Soyoung had been studying the alien message for days. She presented her findings to the world leaders through a video link from the new Sol. Discovered something important, she said. Her voice was calm, but everyone could hear the excitement underneath. I've been researching our deep space observations from the last 50 years. I found evidence of 17 solar systems that once had advanced civilizations. Now those systems are empty. No life, no cities, no radio signals, nothing." She paused. To let this sink in, I believe these were other species that refused the Galactic Council's demands. They weren't just defeated, they were completely erased. Every trace of their existence was wiped out. The room fell silent. Finally, President Martinez spoke. "So they've done this before. 17 times that we can find evidence for," Dr. Park Soyoung confirmed. "But here's what's interesting. Each of these species was destroyed at a different time. The Council has been doing this for over 1,000 years, but they don't attack often. They wait decades or centuries between each ... cleansing. Why?" asked the delegate from African Union. "Because they want to maintain their image as peaceful rulers," Dr. Park Soyoung explained. "If they destroyed new species every few years, other aliens might start to see them as tyrants. By waiting, they can claim each destruction was necessary to maintain galactic peace." Commander Li Wujin joined the discussion from his ship. "Dr. Park has uncovered their pattern, but I've found something else. Our intelligence shows that the Council species haven't fought a real war in over 500 years. They've become lazy. They expect new species to surrender when threatened." He pulled up a tactical display. "They're powerful, yes. But they're also predictable. They use the same ship designs, the same tactics, the same threats they've used for centuries. They haven't had to adapt because nobody has ever really fought back." The debate continued for hours. Some leaders still argued for surrender. They talked about the safety of human children, the preservation of human culture on Earth, the wisdom of avoiding a war they couldn't win. But slowly, opinion began to shift. Speaker after speaker stood up to reject the idea of surrender. The delegate from Australian territory said it best. "My ancestors were prisoners sent to a distant land, but they built something beautiful there because they refused to stay prisoners. We will not voluntarily become prisoners again." Finally, President Martinez called for a vote. The question was simple: accept the Galactic Council's ultimatum, or reject it and fight for humanity's freedom. The vote was not even close. 193 nations voted to fight. Only 7 voted to surrender. "The decision is made," President Martinez announced. "Humanity rejects the Galactic Council's ultimatum. We will defend our right to exist as a free species." Immediately, President Martinez promoted Commander Li Wujin to Supreme Military Coordinator. His job was to prepare humanity for a war. Against impossible odds, Li Wujin's first order was to activate Protocol Defiance. This was humanity's secret plan for exactly this situation. For the past 20 years, human military planners had wondered what would happen if humanity met hostile aliens. Protocol Defiance was their answer. Captain Kim Tae-ho received new orders within hours. Instead of protecting colonies, his ships would begin evacuating civilians while secretly building hidden supply bases. "We're not abandoning these worlds," Li Wujin told him. "We're preparing them for guerrilla warfare." Kim Tae-ho understood immediately. Hit and run tactics. Use the colonies as hidden bases for surprise attacks. Exactly. The Council expects us to either surrender or fight a traditional war with big fleets and fixed positions. We're going to do neither. Meanwhile, Intelligence Officer Yoon Hae-ri was busy intercepting alien communications. Her team had built special listening posts throughout human space. What they discovered was both frightening and encouraging. "The aliens are calling us the infection," Yoon Hae-ri reported to Lee. "Their internal messages show they're genuinely afraid of human expansion rates. We've built more colonies in 50 years than most species build in 500 years. What else are they saying? They're worried about our technology development. Most alien species take thousands of years to advance from basic space travel to faster-than-light ships. Humans did it in less than 200 years. They think we're evolving too fast." Yoon Hae-ri pulled up more intercepted messages. But here's the most interesting part. Some of the younger alien species are asking questions about us. They want to know why the Council is so afraid of one small species, The Council's answers are making them suspicious. They're not all united against us. Not completely. The Council controls the galaxy through fear, but fear works both ways. Some species are starting to wonder if the Council is as powerful as they claim. Ambassador Xu Minho had been working on humanity's response to the galaxy. He was a skilled diplomat who believed in the power of words and ideas. While the military prepared for war, Xu Minho prepared for a different kind of battle. We need to tell our story to the galaxy, he explained to President Martinez. The Council wants to paint us as dangerous monsters. We need to show other species who we really are. Xu Minho began broadcasting throughout the galaxy. He sent recordings of human music, art, and poetry. He transmitted videos of human families, human celebrations, human acts of kindness. He wanted every alien species to see that humans were not monsters. His most important broadcast was a simple message. We are humanity. We explore the stars, not to conquer, but to learn. We build colonies, not to spread war, but to spread life. We advance our technology, not to destroy others, but to better ourselves. We come in peace to all species, but we will defend our right to exist. The response from the Council was swift and angry. They sent warnings to all species in the galaxy. Do not listen to human propaganda. Do not communicate with humans. Any species that helps humanity will share their fate. But some species began responding to humanity's broadcasts anyway. Secret messages started arriving from young aliens who were tired of the Council's rule. They couldn't help humanity openly, but they began sharing information about Council ship movements and military plans. Dr. Park So-young made another important discovery during this time. She was studying the energy signatures of Council ships when she noticed something strange. Their technology is incredibly advanced, she told Li Wujin, but it's also incredibly old. I'm seeing the same basic energy patterns in all their ships. They haven't innovated in centuries, maybe millennia. What does that mean for us? It means they're powerful but predictable. They rely on overwhelming force instead of new tactics. If we can find ways to counter their basic technologies, we might have a chance. As the 30-day deadline approached, humanity was ready. Not ready to win, the odds were still impossible, but ready to fight. Ready to show the galaxy that some things were worth dying for. Li Wujin stood on the bridge of the New Sol, looking out at the stars. Somewhere out there, the most powerful species in the galaxy were preparing to destroy humanity. But they had made one mistake. They had given humans time to prepare. And humans were very good at making the most of their time. All ships, this is Supreme Commander Li Wujin. He broadcast to the human fleet. In 72 hours, our deadline expires. The Council expects us to surrender or die quickly. We're going to do neither. We're going to show them that humanity doesn't know how to quit. The war for humanity's survival was about to begin. The 30-day deadline passed at midnight, Earth time. For 6 hours, nothing happened. Human colonies across the galaxy held their breath, waiting. Then the attacks began. Commander Li Wujin was drinking coffee on the bridge of the New Sol when the first emergency signal came through. The message was short and terrifying. New Harmony colony under attack. Massive alien fleet. We need help immediately. Before Li Wujin could respond, 2 more signals arrived. Kepler Station was being destroyed. The mining colony on asteroid Belt 7 had gone silent. All 3 attacks happened at exactly the same time. How many ships are we facing? Li Wujin asked his communications officer. Unknown, sir. The colonies were destroyed too quickly to get accurate counts. But survivors from New Harmony reported at least 30 alien vessels, each one larger than our biggest warships. Dr. Park So-young studied the attack data with growing horror. Commander, these aren't normal weapons. The aliens aren't just destroying our colonies, they're completely vaporizing them. Buildings, people, even the ground itself is being turned into dust. She pulled up satellite images from before and after the attacks. Where New Harmony colony once stood, there was now only a perfectly smooth crater. No rubble, no remains, nothing. It was as if 10,000 people had never existed. They want to erase us completely, Dr. Park Soyoung whispered. Just like those 17 other species, Captain Kim Taeho's voice crackled over the communication system. His ship was 3 hours away from the nearest attack site. Commander, I'm taking my squadron to investigate the New Harmony site. Maybe we can rescue survivors. Negative, Captain. It's too dangerous. They might be waiting for rescue ships. Sir, these were our people. We can't just abandon them. Lee Woojin understood Kim Taeho's feelings, but he had to think strategically. Captain, if you get your ships destroyed trying to save people who are already dead, you won't be able to help the people who are still alive. We need to be smart about this. Over the next 48 hours, 6 more human colonies were attacked. The pattern was always the same. Massive alien fleets would appear suddenly, destroy everything in sight, then disappear before human ships could arrive. Each attack took less than 30 minutes from start to finish. Lee Woojin realized that normal military tactics were useless. The aliens were too fast, too powerful, and too organized. Fighting them directly would be suicide. We need to change our approach, he told his senior officers during an emergency meeting. They expect us to defend our colonies with big fleets. They expect us to fight like a traditional military. We're going to do something different. What do you have in mind, sir? Asked Captain Kim Taeho. Guerrilla warfare. Small, fast attacks. On targets they don't expect. We hit their supply lines, their communication stations, their isolated ships. We make them afraid to travel alone. Dr. Park Soyoung had been studying captured alien technology from the attack sites. Most of it was completely destroyed, but she had found some interesting pieces. I've made an important discovery, she announced to the command team. The alien weapons are incredibly powerful, but they're also incredibly predictable. They fire in exactly the same patterns every time. Their shields activate in the same sequence. Even their ship movements follow precise mathematical formulas. She showed them her analysis on the main screen. Look at this data from all 9 attacks. The aliens used identical tactics every single time. Same approach angles, same weapon sequences, same retreat patterns. It's like they're following a manual that hasn't been updated in thousands of years. Lee Woojin studied the patterns carefully. So if we know their tactics, we can prepare counters. Exactly, they're powerful, but they're not creative. They do the same things over and over, because those things have always worked before. Captain Kim Taeho had an idea. What if we let them attack us? Everyone looked at him in surprise. Explain. That, Captain Lee Woojin said, we set up a fake colony. Make it look important, but fill it with traps and recording equipment instead of people. When they attack, we learn everything about their weapons and tactics. Then we use that information against them. Dr. Park Soyoung nodded excitedly. It could work. We could hide sensors throughout the fake colony. We'd get detailed readings on their shield frequencies, weapon outputs, and tactical systems. And while they're busy destroying empty buildings, we hit them with surprise attacks from hidden positions, added Kim Tae-ho. Lee Woojin approved the plan immediately. Within a week, human engineers had built a fake colony on the planet Harrison. From orbit, it looked exactly like a real human settlement. But, instead of 10,000 colonists, it contained advanced recording equipment and hidden weapons platforms. The aliens took the bait perfectly. 3 weeks after the first attacks, a council fleet arrived at Harrison 4. They followed their usual pattern, exactly same approach, same formation, same tactics, but this time, humans were ready. Captain Kim Taeho had hidden his squadron in the planet's asteroid belt. When the alien ships began their attack on the fake colony, he struck from behind. His ships were smaller and weaker than the alien vessels, but they had surprise on their side. All ships, this is Captain Kim. Remember? We're not trying to win this battle. We're trying to learn and survive. Hit their rear ships, gather data, then retreat. The attack lasted only 12 minutes, but it changed everything. For the first time in the war, human weapons actually damaged alien ships. More importantly, human ships escaped after attacking the Council fleet. Kim Taeho's tactical report was encouraging, Their shields are powerful, but they have weak spots. Their weapons are devastating, but they take time to recharge. Most importantly, they panicked when we attacked from an unexpected direction. They didn't know how to respond to tactics that weren't in their manual. Intelligence Officer Yoon Hae-ri had even better news. Her listening posts had intercepted alien communications during the battle. The Council fleet commanders were confused and angry, she reported. They kept asking each other why humans didn't fight properly. They expected us to defend the colony with a traditional fleet formation. When we attacked from the asteroids instead, their tactical computers couldn't process it. What else did you learn? The aliens have been using the same battle tactics for over 2,000 years. Every species they've fought has used similar strategies. Big ships, direct confrontations, predictable maneuvers. We're the first species to try guerrilla tactics against them. Dr. Park So-young's analysis of the battle data was the most exciting. News of all, I've figured out their shield frequency, she announced. More importantly, I think I know how to disrupt it. She showed her calculations to the team. Human weapons can't penetrate their shields directly, but we don't need to. If we modify our weapon frequencies to match specific harmonic resonances, we can make their shields collapse. How long will it take to modify our weapons? Lee Woo-jin asked. For our entire fleet, about 6 weeks, but I can modify Captain Kim's squadron in just a few days. Lee Woo-jin made his decision quickly. Do it, Captain Kim. Your squadron will become our test unit for new tactics and weapons. Dr. Park, I want those shield disruptors ready as soon as possible. Over the next month, Captain Kim Tae-ho led a series of hit-and-run attacks against isolated council ships. Each attack was small and brief, but they achieved something no human force had done before. They hurt the aliens. The attacks followed a simple pattern. Kim's ships would hide near asteroid fields or nebulae, wait for lone alien vessels, then strike quickly and retreat. They never fought for more than a few minutes, and they never engaged more than one enemy ship at a time. The psychological effect was enormous. For thousands of years, council ships had traveled the galaxy without fear. Now they were being attacked by tiny human vessels that appeared from nowhere and vanished. Just as quickly, Yoon Hae-ri's intelligence reports showed that the attacks were working. Council communications are showing increased anxiety, she told Lee Woo-jin. Their ship captains are requesting larger escort groups. Some are refusing to travel alone. They're starting to be afraid, Lee Woo-jin realized. For the first time in millennia, yes, they've forgotten what it feels like to be hunted. The war's turning point came when Captain Kim Tae-ho attempted his most daring attack yet. A massive council supply ship was traveling through the Vega system, protected by only 2 escort vessels. Kim decided to capture it instead of destroying it. The battle was fierce but brief. Using Dr. Park So-young's shield disruptors, Kim's ships disabled the escort vessels in minutes. The supply ship tried to flee, but human ships were faster and more maneuverable. Surrender your vessel, Kim broadcast to the alien ship. Your escorts are disabled. You cannot escape. The response was immediate and shocking. Instead of surrendering, the alien captain activated his ship's self-destruct sequence. The massive vessel exploded, taking its entire crew and cargo with it. Kim Tae-ho was stunned. They killed themselves rather than be captured. Dr. Park So-young studied the explosion data carefully. This tells us something important about Council psychology. They would rather die than face the shame of defeat. They've never lost before, so they don't know how to handle it. Lee Woo-jin realized that humanity had found the Council's weakness. They're not just technologically stagnant, they're psychologically fragile. They've ruled the galaxy for so long that they can't imagine losing. As news of human victories spread throughout the galaxy, something unexpected began to happen. Other alien species started paying attention. For the first time in thousands of years, someone was successfully fighting the Council. Young aliens on dozens of worlds began asking questions. If humans could hurt the Council, maybe the Council wasn't as powerful as they claimed. Maybe change was possible after all. The war was far from over. But humanity had achieved something remarkable. They had survived the Council's first assault and struck back. More importantly, they had planted seeds of doubt throughout the galaxy. The hunters were becoming the hunted. 6 months after the war began, humanity was still alive. This surprised everyone, especially the Galactic Council. They had expected to destroy all humans within weeks. Instead, human ships were attacking Council forces throughout the galaxy. Commander Li Wujin stood in the war room aboard the New Sol, studying reports from dozens of battle zones. The walls were covered with star maps showing Council ship movements and human attack routes. Red markers showed successful human raids. There were more red markers every day. Status report: Li Wujin ordered. Captain Kim Taeho's image appeared. On the main screen, his ship, the Bison's Pride, was now famous throughout human space. In 6 months, Kim had destroyed 12 Council vessels and damaged many more. His tactics were studied by every human pilot. "We hit another supply convoy yesterday," Kim reported. 3 Council transport ships destroyed, 1 captured before it could self-destruct. "We're getting better at stopping their suicide protocols." Casualties: none. On our side, the aliens still can't adapt to our hit-and-run tactics. They keep expecting us to fight like their old enemies did. Dr. Park Soyoung joined the conversation from her laboratory. She had been working non-stop for months, studying captured alien technology. Her research team had grown from 5 scientists to over 50. They were humanity's secret weapon. "I have good news and amazing news," Dr. Park announced. "The good news is that we've successfully reverse-engineered their shield generators. Our new ships will have alien-level defensive systems." Within a month, Li Wujin smiled. This was the first time he had felt hopeful in months. "And the amazing news? We've improved their design. Human shields will be 30% stronger than Council shields. We took their technology and made it better." This was exactly what Li Wujin had hoped for. Humans had always been good at taking other people's ideas and improving them. Now, they were doing it with alien technology. "How is that possible?" Kim Taeho asked. "Their technology is thousands of years more advanced than ours." Dr. Park Soyoung grinned. "That's exactly the problem. Their technology is thousands of years old. They stopped innovating long ago. When we studied their shield generators, we found dozens of ways to make them more efficient. Simple improvements that they never thought of because they stopped trying to improve." She pulled up technical diagrams on the screen. "Look at this power coupling design. It's the same design they've used for over 1,000 years. We redesigned it and increased power output by 40%. It took our team 3 weeks to figure out what they never discovered in a millennium." Intelligence Officer Yoon Heri had even better news. Her network of alien contacts had grown significantly. Young aliens throughout the galaxy were secretly helping humanity by sharing information about Council activities. "The resistance movements are growing," Yoon Heri reported. "We now have contacts in 8 different species. They can't help us directly, but they're providing intelligence on Council ship movements and military plans." "Why are they helping us?" Li Wujin asked. "Because we're giving them something they haven't had in centuries: hope. For the first time in their lives, they're seeing the Council lose battles. They're starting to believe that change is possible." Yoon Heri showed intercepted alien communications on her screen. These are messages between young aliens on different worlds. They're calling us the Awakeners, the species that woke up the galaxy to new possibilities. Ambassador Shumanho had been busy with his own form of warfare. His broadcasts to the galaxy were now being received by billions of aliens. The Council had tried to block human transmissions, but Cho found ways around their jamming. "My cultural broadcasts are working better than we hoped," Cho reported from Earth. "We're not just showing aliens that humans are peaceful. We're showing them what freedom looks like." Cho had been broadcasting recordings of human music, art, literature, and philosophy. But his most powerful broadcasts were simple videos of human families living normal lives, children playing, couples in love, friends laughing together. "The Council rules through fear," Cho explained. They tell other species that freedom leads to chaos and violence. Our videos prove that freedom leads to joy and creativity. His broadcasts were having an unexpected effect. Young aliens were beginning to create their own art, music, and literature inspired by human culture. 4 species that had been controlled. For thousands of years, this was revolutionary. Captain Kim Tae-ho had developed new fighting techniques that no alien tactical computer could predict. His ship, the Bison's Pride, had become a legend among both human and alien forces. The key is unpredictability, Kim explained during a strategy meeting. Council computers are programmed to counter every known fighting style in the galaxy, but they've never seen human creativity in battle. Kim showed recordings of his latest victory. His small squadron had defeated a council battle group by using tactics that no computer could anticipate. Human ships had hidden inside a nebula, then attacked while broadcasting fake surrender messages. The alien commander spent 10 minutes trying to understand why we were attacking while surrendering. Kim laughed. His tactical computer crashed trying to process contradictory data. Dr. Park So-young had made another breakthrough. I've been studying the energy signatures from destroyed council ships. I think I know where their main shipyards are located. She displayed a star map with 3 systems highlighted in red. These systems show massive industrial energy outputs. They're building new ships faster than we're destroying them. If we could damage their production capacity, it would change the entire war. Li Wujin finished. How well are these shipyards defended? Heavily. Each one has at least 50 warships on permanent guard duty. A direct attack would be suicide. Then we won't attack directly, Li Wujin decided. Captain Kim, I have a special mission for you. 2 weeks later, Kim Tae-ho led humanity's most daring operation yet. Instead of attacking the council shipyards, he targeted their supply lines. The shipyards needed raw materials from dozens of mining systems. Kim's job was to disrupt those supply chains. The operation was brilliant in its simplicity. Small human squadrons attacked mining convoys throughout council space. They didn't try to capture or destroy the valuable materials. Instead, they scattered the cargo across empty space, making it impossible to recover. Within a month, all 3 major shipyards were running low on essential materials. Council ship production dropped by 60%. For the first time since the war began, humans were destroying council ships faster than they could be replaced. But the operation's greatest success was psychological. Council leaders began to panic. For thousands of years, their industrial systems had run smoothly. Now humans were proving that even the galaxy's most powerful civilization could be disrupted by creative thinking. Yoon Hae-ri intercepted increasingly desperate council communications. They're losing confidence in their own leadership, she reported. Some council members are questioning whether this war was necessary. Any chance they might offer to negotiate? Li Wujin asked hopefully. Not yet, but cracks are forming. In their unity, if we keep pressuring them, those cracks might become breaks. The war's momentum was shifting. Humans were no longer just surviving, they were winning. But Li Wujin knew the council still had advantages. They had more ships, more weapons, and thousands of years of experience. Dr. Park So-young provided the solution. I've been working on something special, she announced. What if we could turn their greatest strength into a weakness? Explain, Li Wujin ordered. The council's power comes from their unified command structure. All their ships receive orders from central command stations, but what if we could hack into those command systems? She showed her research on alien communication networks. Their command codes haven't been changed in centuries. They use the same encryption systems. If we could break their codes, we could send false orders to their entire fleet. Captain Kim Tae-ho understood immediately. We could make their ships attack each other, or send them to wrong locations, or shut down their weapons at critical moments. Dr. Park So-young agreed. The possibilities are endless. Li Wujin felt excitement building. For the first time since the war began, he could imagine humanity not just surviving, but actually winning. How long do you need? He asked. Give me 2 months. Dr. Park So-young replied. and I'll give you the keys to the Council's entire military. As reports of human victories spread throughout the galaxy, more alien species began to hope. Secret resistance groups formed on dozens of worlds. Young aliens started planning for a future without Council domination. The galaxy was waking up, and humanity was leading the awakening. But Li Wujin knew the Council would not surrender easily. Their next move would be desperate and dangerous. The real test of human adaptability was still to come. The alarm on the new Sol screamed through the corridors at 03:00 hours. Commander Li Wujin rushed to the bridge, still putting on his uniform. What he saw on the main screen made his blood freeze. Sir, long-range sensors are detecting the largest fleet movement in recorded history, reported Lieutenant Park, her voice shaking. Over 3,000 Council ships are heading directly for the Sol system. Li Wujin stared at the tactical display. Red dots covered the screen like a swarm of deadly insects. Each dot represented an alien warship capable of destroying entire cities. And they were all heading for Earth. How long until they reached Sol? He asked quietly. 18 days, sir. They're using their fastest ships and burning their engines at maximum power. They want to end this war quickly. Dr. Park Soyoung rushed onto the bridge with her portable computer. She had been working in her laboratory when the alarms started. Commander, I'm reading energy signatures I've never seen before. One of those ships is massive, easily 50 times larger than their biggest warships. She pulled up her sensor analysis. I think it's their ultimate weapon. The thing they use to completely destroy solar systems. Li Wujin felt the weight of humanity's survival pressing down on him. 3,000 alien ships, led by a planet killer, were coming to erase his species from existence. Earth's entire defense fleet numbered less than 400 ships. Send an immediate message to Earth, he ordered. Tell them to begin total evacuation procedures. Every civilian transport, every cargo ship, every small craft, get our people out of the Sol system. Sir, Lieutenant Park said hesitantly, President Martinez has already responded to our sensor data. She's refusing to evacuate Earth. Li Wujin spun around in surprise. What? The president says humanity will make its final stand at Earth. She's ordered all civilian populations to stay. Her exact words were, "We will not run from our home. If humanity dies, we die as one people on the world that gave us birth." Li Wujin closed his eyes and took a deep breath. He understood President Martinez's decision, but it made his job infinitely harder. Instead of protecting empty space, he now had to defend 8 billion human lives. Captain Kim Taeho's face appeared on the communication screen. His ship was currently near Jupiter, having just completed another successful raid on Council supply lines. Commander, my squadron is ready to return to Earth immediately. We can be there in 6 days. Negative, Captain. I need you to continue disrupting their supply lines. Every ship you destroy out there is one less ship attacking Earth. Sir, with respect, my place is defending humanity's homeworld. Li Wujin understood Kim's feelings, but strategy had to come first. Captain, your squadron has destroyed more Council ships than any other unit in our fleet. You're needed where you can do the most damage. While the military prepared for the final battle, Dr. Park Soyoung worked frantically on her secret project. For 2 months, she had been trying to break the Council's command codes. Time was running out. I'm close, she told Li Wujin, during one of their daily meetings. The Council's encryption is incredibly complex, but it follows logical patterns. I think I can crack it within a week. We may not have a week. What do you need? More computer processing power. I'm running calculations on every available system, but it's not enough. If I could access Earth's main defense computers. Done. I'll authorize a direct link to Earth's military network. Use every computer on the planet if you need to. Intelligence Officer Yoon Hari had been coordinating with alien resistance groups throughout the galaxy. The news she brought was both encouraging and heartbreaking. 17 different species have begun open rebellion against the Council, she reported. They're attacking Council installations on their home worlds. destroying government buildings, freeing political prisoners. That's good news, Li Wujin said. Yes, but the council is responding with brutal force. They're bombing entire cities. To crush the rebellions, millions of aliens are dying for the cause of freedom. Yoon-hae showed him intercepted video messages from alien rebels. Young creatures from dozens of species were broadcasting messages of hope and defiance, even as council ships destroyed their cities. They're saying that humanity showed them what courage looks like, she continued. They'd rather die free than live as slaves. But Commander, their sacrifices will be meaningless if we lose the battle for Earth. Ambassador Xu Minho had been broadcasting continuously from Earth, sending humanity's story to every corner of the galaxy. His messages were no longer just cultural exchanges, they were humanity's final testimony. If we lose, Cho told Li Wujin during a private communication, I want the galaxy to remember who we were. I want other species to know that humans chose freedom over safety, courage over surrender. His latest broadcast had been the most powerful yet. It was simple. Just Cho standing in front of the United Nations building in New York, speaking directly to the camera. To all sentient beings in the galaxy, in 14 days, the Council will arrive at Earth to destroy humanity. We could run, we could hide among the stars and try to survive as refugees, but we won't. We are making our stand here, on the world where humanity was born. If we die as free beings who chose our own fate. The message had been received. Throughout the galaxy, alien resistance groups were broadcasting it on their own worlds, translating it into hundreds of languages. Humanity's final stand was inspiring creatures. They had never met to fight for their own freedom. Dr. Park So-young finally achieved her breakthrough on day 12. She burst into the command center with tears of joy streaming down her face. I did it, she shouted. I cracked their command codes. She showed Li Wujin her computer screen, filled with alien symbols and numbers. I can send false orders to any council ship. I can make them think their commanders are telling them to retreat, attack each other, or shut down their weapons. How many ships can you control? All of them. The beauty of their unified command system is that once you break the main codes, you have access to everything. Li Wujin felt hope returning for the first time in days. Can you stop the planet killer? Can try? But, Commander, I need to warn you. If they discover what I'm doing, they'll change all their codes immediately. I'll only get one chance to use this weapon. Then we make it count. On day 15, the Council fleet reached the edge of the Sol system. Long-range sensors confirmed Dr. Park So-young's worst fears. The massive ship at the center of the fleet was indeed a planet killer, a weapon designed to destroy entire worlds. Captain Kim Tae-ho disobeyed orders and returned to Earth with his squadron. Court-martial me later, he told Li Wujin, I'm not missing humanity's final battle. Earth's defense fleet took positions throughout the solar system. 400 human ships against 3,000 alien vessels. The odds were impossible, but humans had never been good at accepting impossible odds. President Martinez addressed the world one final time. Citizens of Earth, today, we face extinction. But we do not face it alone. Throughout the galaxy, other species are fighting and dying for the freedom that humanity showed them was possible. We are not just fighting for our own survival, we are fighting for the right of all beings to choose their own destiny. As the Council fleet moved deeper into the Sol system, Dr. Park So-young prepared to activate her secret weapon. Her fingers hovered over the keyboard that could save or doom humanity. Remember, Li Wujin told her, you only get one shot. I know, she replied. But one shot is all humanity has ever needed. The fate of not just humanity, but freedom itself throughout the galaxy, rested in the hands of a young scientist who had spent her life studying alien cultures. Soon, she would use that knowledge to either save her species or watch it die. The final battle was about to begin. The Council had come to Earth expecting to destroy a primitive species. Instead, they were about to discover what happened when you threaten something that humans refused to lose their freedom and their home, Earth's blue skies had never looked more beautiful or more fragile. The Council fleet filled the space around Earth like a dark cloud. 3,000 alien warships moved in perfect formation toward humanity's homeworld. At the center of the fleet, the massive planet killer charged its main weapon. Energy readings showed it would be ready to fire in 30 minutes. Commander Li Wujin stood on the bridge of the New Sol, watching Earth's defense fleet take their final positions. 400 human ships against impossible odds. His hands were steady, but his heart was racing. All ships. This is Commander Li, he broadcast to the human fleet. Today, we fight not just for Earth, but for every species in the galaxy that dreams of freedom. Make every shot count. Captain Kim Taeho's voice crackled over the communication system from the Bison's Pride. Sir, my squadron is in position. Near Mars, we're ready to give them hell. Dr. Park Soyoung sat at her computer station, her fingers hovering over the keyboard. Lines of alien code filled her screen, the command codes that controlled the entire Council fleet. She had one chance to use them before the aliens discovered her hack. Dr. Park, are you ready? Li Wujin asked quietly. Ready, sir, but I need to wait for the right moment. If I activate this too early, they'll have time to override my commands. The Council fleet continued its approach. When they reached Earth's orbit, the lead ship broadcast a message to the planet below. The same purple-skinned alien who had delivered the original ultimatum appeared on screens throughout Earth. Humans, your time has ended. You refused our generous offer to live peacefully in your home system. You chose war over wisdom. Now you will face the consequences. Your planet will be destroyed, as an example to the galaxy. No species may defy the Council and survive. President Martinez responded immediately from the United Nations building. Her voice was calm and strong. Council of Tyrants, you came here expecting to find a weak species begging for mercy. Instead, you found humans who refused to surrender their freedom. Today, you will learn that some things are worth dying for. But more importantly, you will learn that some things are worth living for. The first shots of the final battle came from the Council fleet. Massive energy beams lanced out toward the human ships near Jupiter, but Captain Kim Taeho was ready. His squadron scattered like leaves in the wind, dodging the alien weapons with impossible grace. Human ships are too fast. An alien commander screamed over the intercepted communications. They're not following standard evasion patterns. Kim Taeho's ships struck back immediately, using Dr. Park Soyoung's improved weapons. They punched through alien shields and damaged 3 Council warships in the first exchange. The aliens had expected an easy victory, but humans were making them fight for every inch of space. The battle spread throughout the solar system. Human ships used every asteroid, every moon, every piece of space debris as cover. They fought like cornered wolves, desperate, fierce, and unpredictable. But the Council fleet was simply too large. For every alien ship the humans destroyed, 10 more took its place. Slowly, inevitably, the human defense lines began to collapse. Commander, we're losing ships too quickly, reported Captain Kim. We can't hold them much longer. Li Wujin watched the tactical display with growing despair. The planet killer was almost in position. Its main weapon would be charged in 10 minutes. Once it fired, Earth would become a cloud of dust and debris. Dr. Park, it's time, he said. Dr. Park Soyoung took a deep breath and activated her program. Across the Council fleet, every ship suddenly received new orders from their central command, orders that would change the course of galactic history. The effect was immediate and spectacular. Half the Council fleet suddenly turned their weapons on the other half. Alien ships that had been allies for thousands of years began destroying each other with devastating efficiency. What's happening? Screamed the Council commander. Why are our ships attacking each other? The planet killer itself received special orders. Instead of targeting Earth, Dr. Park's program told it to fire on the Council command ship. The massive weapon that was designed to destroy planets turned toward its own fleet. No, shouted the Council leader. Override the firing sequence, stop the weapon. But it was too late. The planet killer fired its devastating beam directly into the heart of the Council fleet. The explosion was visible from Earth, a new star that burned for 3 full seconds before fading away. When the light cleared, the Council's command structure was gone. Across the galaxy, something amazing began to happen. The quantum frequency that Dr. Park Soyoung had discovered months earlier finally activated. Every alien species that had been enslaved by the Council suddenly remembered what freedom felt like. On thousands of worlds, billions of creatures looked up at the sky and realized they were no longer prisoners. The mental chains that had bound them for millennia simply disappeared. For the first time in 3,000 years, they could think their own thoughts and make their own choices. The remaining Council ships began to fall apart as their crews rebelled. Alien soldiers who had been forced to serve the Council turned their weapons on their own officers. Ships that had been heading toward Earth suddenly reversed course and fled toward their home worlds. Captain Kim Tae-ho led the human fleet in accepting the surrender of the remaining Council vessels. The ancient species that had once threatened to erase humanity now begged for mercy. "Please," transmitted one alien commander, "we surrender. Our people are free now. We remember what we used to be before the Council took control of our minds. We don't want to fight anymore." Commander Lee Woojin made a decision that would define humanity's place in the galaxy. Instead of revenge, he chose compassion. "All Council ships, this is Commander Lee of the human fleet. You are granted safe passage to your home worlds. Go in peace. Learn what freedom means. Use it wisely." Intelligence Officer Yoon Hae-ri coordinated with resistance groups throughout the galaxy as the Council's empire collapsed. Her reports were incredible. Entire star systems were declaring independence. Former slave species were forming new governments, and the galaxy was transforming before their eyes. Commander Weir, receiving messages from over 200 different species, she reported excitedly. They want to form a new galactic government based on voluntary cooperation instead of forced obedience. Ambassador Cho Min-ho was chosen to address the first Free Galactic Assembly. Representatives from hundreds of species gathered on a neutral space station to decide the galaxy's future. "Citizens of the galaxy," Cho began. "Today marks the end of 3,000 years of tyranny. Today marks the beginning of an age where every species chooses its own destiny." He looked directly at the former Council members who sat in the back of the assembly. Humanity made a promise to the galaxy. "We said that if you betrayed our species by attempting genocide, your species would be erased from existence. Today, that promise is fulfilled. The Council species as tyrants and slavers are gone forever. What remains is the possibility of redemption through cooperation." The former Council leader, now free from the mental controls that had made him cruel, stood up slowly. "Ambassador Cho, on behalf of all Council species, I asked for forgiveness. We were not born evil. We became evil when we allowed power to corrupt our hearts. If you will have us, we wish to learn how to be free again." Dr. Park Soyoung had accomplished something unprecedented in galactic history. Her quantum liberation device had freed not just the enslaved species, but the enslaving species as well. The Council leaders had been as much prisoners of their own system as anyone else. The new galactic government was unlike anything that had existed before. Instead of one dominant species ruling others, it was a true democracy where every world had a voice. Conflicts were resolved through discussion, not force. Trade was based on mutual benefit, not exploitation. Captain Kim Tae-ho was offered command of the new Galactic Defense Force, but he declined. "I'm a pilot, not a politician," he said with a smile. "But if anyone threatens the freedom we've won, they'll have to deal with the Bison's pride." Years later, historians would study the war and wonder how such a small species defeated such a powerful empire. The answer was simple, but profound. Humanity had something the Council had forgotten existed: the absolute refusal to surrender their principles. No matter the cost, the galaxy was free. Not because humanity had conquered it, but because humanity had shown every other species that freedom was possible. The greatest victory was not military, it was the victory of hope over despair, courage over fear, and cooperation over domination. Commander Li Wujin retired to a small farm on Earth, where he grew vegetables and watched the stars. Sometimes, young humans would visit him and ask about the war. He would always tell them the same thing: we didn't win because we were stronger. We won because we remembered that some things are worth any sacrifice. Freedom is one of those things. Never forget that lesson. Earth's blue skies had never looked more beautiful. And now, they were truly free.